In today's video, we will lend a hand to a shelter by bringing us 3 of their dogs, of which 2 of them require special care. Nala, who has a skin problem that we must treat before we can put her up for adoption, and Hope, a tiny puppy who, in addition to being parvovirus survivor, recently had a huge hernia removed, which was almost the same size as him. We went to an animal shelter almost 2-hour drive from home, a shelter that some of you may know because we have worked with them before. And as we had already got good families for Candy's entire litter, and despite the fact that it is being difficult for us to find a good family for our queen, the truth is that we already had a little more space and time to be able to help more animals. So we contacted Irene's shelter to see if we could lend her a hand, and she told us that she had 2 puppies with the big dogs, that they were hurting them, and that it would be very useful for them to get them out of there. So that's where we went, but not without making a stop at the pharmacy to take her a lot of syringes which she needed. The first thing we ran into when we arrived is what we least expect: a really big pig who loves fruit and even takes a turn so he earned a banana. What a guy, how huge he is! And it is just that we haven't been here for a long time, and in addition to having expanded by acquiring the property next door, they already have more than 100 dogs here. That's crazy.
Hola, hola, hola.
The last case that arrived here was a dog that had been beaten up. His jaw had been nicked in, and even the testicles were hit by the very cowards. The poor thing is destroyed. What a shame of human beings who made this to this poor dog.
Ay, Dios mío.
Now yes, Irene gave us the 2 puppies that we are going to help with. And the truth is that they couldn't be cuter. We named them Preto and Nala, who is wearing a little dress because of the problem she has with her skin, because the poor thing has affected a really big area of her body.
Muy bien. Quietos. Muy bien. Muy bien.
However, things will not stop here. Just as we were leaving, the vet arrived to bring a mini puppy that had just had a huge hernia removed, a hernia almost the same size of him. Hope is a tiny dog. Literally, he fits in the palm of my hand. And being such a small dog with such a large and recent scar, he was going to have a very difficult recovery in a shelter with so many dogs. So we take him with us too, to take care of all his post-operative care. Let's go home! Shortly after leaving the shelter, I prefer to stop to the babies could do whatever they had to do. We've had situations in the past and I prefer to avoid them. On the way home, 2 technical stops to buy the medications, shampoo and a special cream for Nala's skin, and syrup and antibiotics for Hope, some toys, and food for puppies. When we got home, we gave them a few minutes alone before joining them with the rest of the pack, and the truth was that it was phenomenal. Good vibes among all, although it broke our hearts to see little Hope looking for Candy's nipple. Such a tiny baby who surely must have been weaned early and who has already been through so much, because here where you see him, besides the huge hernia, Hope is also a survivor of parvovirus. So we can say that this champion is a true brave. We took them down to our room/house/shelter, and we spent a little while with them in the garden, making relationships and analyzing behaviors. And the truth is that the three of them are angels. Then we gave them something to eat, yes, with a good chicken broth, because Preto is quite in a good shape. But both Nala and Hope, especially the latter, were in their bonds, and since both of them are sick, we have to raise those defenses and energies. Preto and Nala ate like crazy, but the one who was most desperate was little Hope. That was eating me. How demanding dear rascal is, and how he eats. But really, you could feel all the little bones of the poor thing. We put the antibiotic in a little piece of liver, his 2 milliliters of syrup, and this little man was ready. And just have a look at what piece of scar has remained after the surgery. In addition to being huge, it is very exposed and zero hygienic. So we are going to have to be very careful so that it does not get infected, because the poor thing even brings fleas. He loves to be on top of someone. So on top of me, we gave him a pre-bath with white webs because the sun was already going down, so we preferred to give him a deep bath the next day to dry him under the sun. Now we had to solve the accommodation of Preto and Nala. Well, as you will understand, with Candy, Buster, Bonnie, and Hope in the room, we were already enough. Besides that, these 2 scoundrels are at that complicated age in which if they catch you a vulnerable shoe, they neutralize it quickly. We relocate the little house that we put up for Candy when she had her puppies, so that we will have them at a glance from inside the room, and so that they could also see us, and the truth is that they were very comfortable and warm.
Pongamos a todos, los ponemos, ¿no? ¿Nada? ¿Cómo se llamaba Bonnie?
There are some interesting weeks ahead. In addition to the medication of these babies, we are going to have to neuter and spay them. In fact, we have already made an appointment for Preto. So please, if you can, give us a hand. Below in the description of the video, you will find the links to our Patreon and PayPal. With a small monthly donation, you will help us a lot to continue helping animals in need. Thank you very much for joining us in one more video. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you like what we do. I send you a huge hug and see you very soon.